take back every bad thing I've ever said about Dean Wade. I start the show no other way than to say to D Wade, the true D Wade now, I was wrong and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad, man. My bad. I never, on the bingo card of this Cavs season, thought I would have scratched off that Dean Wade single-handedly beat the Boston Celtics. On Travis and Jason Kelce bobblehead night alone, the Swifties are going to be selling out of Dean Wade jerseys. Kansas State, if I'm not mistaken, get some throwback jerseys there for Dean Wade. Donovan Mitchell sent a throwback picture out. I never in a million years would have expected that Dean Wade would be the catalyst, outscoring the Celtics single-handedly, coming back from 20 down. The Celtics were at 99.9% to win that game with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And the Cavs erupt to get maybe their best win of the season. We just said the same thing last week. We'll ask which win was better. A lot to unpack from that Cavs win last night, baby. Yeah! Hell yeah! And I think you gave the Celtics just a little bit to think about there as they walk on home with their tails tucked between their legs. Cavs with a big win last night. We got a lot to talk about with that. We got more Browns. Flacco keeps circling, man. Keeps just coming around. Now he wants to come back. We got Browns. We got Cavs. Morning update, grid, time up, our bracket of the week. We got it all for you right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. A pep in our step after that game last night. Dude, how? Seriously, how in the hell did they do that? And I think part of it is like, I really think you punched the Celtics in the mouth and they did not know what was going on. It's kind of, we talked about boxing MMA yesterday. You're getting your ass kicked for most of the game and you're just like sitting there and you touch them and you're like, well, wait a minute here. And then you just get after them. It's like the Randy Marsh gif. I didn't hear no bell.
Matt, I was sitting in my bed last night, and as I always do, you know, I look at what transpired in the sports, and obviously our job is to correlate everything back to Cleveland, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, you know, what's going to be their narrative for tomorrow, especially after that Knicks game, right? Kind of, we just bowed out, it looked like. No toughness. Right. Everybody's calling the Cavs soft and all that, and I thought, oh, man, we're down 20. Mobley's hurt. They go on a 10-0 run immediately. This is going to be just a repeat of the last show we had. When I saw that flip, you know, for the first couple minutes, like, okay, you know what? We're going to come in and we're going to have some energy because we showed a little bit of fight. We came back. And then it happened. Yeah. Dean Wade turned into Ray Allen. And now I'm sitting here saying, that was the best basketball game I've seen in years.
That was so much fun because Wade got to that point that we've seen sometimes with Sam Merrill, and I go back to guys like Kyrie, Strus, that one game where when it came out of his hands, you felt like it was going in. And especially, I can't tell you how great it is when that's at home. That place was electric. It was so loud. And it's those kind of shots that the crowd, I'll say this, you don't win that game if you're not at home. That's a fact. You talk about home court advantage. You don't win that game if you're not at home last night. So to the Kelce's, to the Cavs faithful that were there last night, they feel that momentum. They feel it shift. And sometimes we've all been on the other side of that too, where you know it's slipping away and there's nothing you can do to stop it. They get a bucket here and there. Okay, fine. They try to calm it down, but it's the fans that got back into that game last night and gave them that momentum. And at that point, you're right. You're just swinging. Just swing, just go, and let him keep shooting. And it worked. And you came back and got a win. It was ugly, which was fine. That's great. You took the Celtics and drug them on down to you. You took them out to deep water and said, let's go, man. Here we go. That was so much fun. I mean, that was such a win that with everything going bad, we'll talk Mobley because, of course, it's like they're playing, I don't want to say Sudoku, but it's like they're playing a Rubik's Cube of injuries. Like, oh, hey, all right, we had Garland and Mobley. Let's try Mobley and Mitchell now. God, I hope not. Next will be Allen and Garland. Like, they're trying all these different combinations. I don't like it. I don't want it, but that's where we're at. But that game, to see that momentum, because could you have not have packed it in when Mobley went down? I know some fans did. You're like, crap.
Well, the second Mobley went down, you had to bring in George Niang, and then they went on a 10-0 run. But then I don't know what happened. Something in their heads flipped the switch because, Matt, they were playing, I don't even know the word, lazy basketball. They looked like they had no objective, running no plays. It was just, I don't even know how to describe it. Something flipped in that Cavs team. They immediately, well, I'll tell you what it was. It was Dean Wade, no kidding.
Yeah.
But George hit a big three. George had a beautiful pass to Dean Wade for that dunk.
Can I tell you another George Niang moment that I loved from last night?
Yeah.
When he was bodying Porzingis up. Now,
somehow
he hit
made
the
it.
shot.
That was unbelievable. That was
it hit the front of the rim and went in.
No, they were.
But that moment, because the refs, I will get to those referees in just a second. Because you knew they had to get involved. But they let him play. I sent a tweet, you're going to let him scrap the whole game and then you call it? We'll get to that in a second. But the fact that Niang giving up, 6 inches at least to Porzingis, that was actually one of my favorite moments. And you're right, Porzingis hit the shot. And he's sitting there bitching because, my jersey came out. Shut up. And he hit the shot. It shouldn't have gone in because it hit front iron first. But regardless, that was one of my favorite moments because it finally showed me something for this team. It finally showed. What were the tweets that I got all day yesterday? They're soft. They got nothing. Last night was not a game for the weak-minded. That was not a game for a team that, again, could have curled up and went away. What I need them to do is bottle this up. I need them to remember games like this for when things get tough. And it's a little different, which I want to post this question. And I know there will be recency bias. But which game was better? Last week against Dallas or last night against Boston? And we already got a lot of votes going in. I'll retweet that. I also retweeted our bracket. Best East Side bar groups 1 and 2 are out. So follow us at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a follow there. The thing about last night was Max Strus hitting that 3 was great. That was awesome. Last night, you took it to the Celtics for about 8 straight minutes. That was not a fluke. And I'm not trying to discredit what Max Strus did. That was great. But last night, you stepped to the line and said, we're either going to get knocked out or we're going to knock you out. We are going to step to you and take it to you. We're down players, a lot of players, 3 starters you had to play that game without with last night. And we took it to them. And we beat them. Man, that feels so good. And it's the Celtics. God, that was great. Felt so good. I'm not trying to already look ahead. We got a boost for tonight, which we'll get rolling here coming up with the Hawks. I need them to take this and prove to themselves that when we play this way, even when we're down guys, if we have the right mentality, we can stick with these teams. Imagine if that was game 1 of the series. Could you imagine if that was game 1 of a 7-game series against the Celtics? I mean, we'd have home court advantage, which would be nice. But anyway, I'll call game 3. That's fine. The other thing, am I reading too much into that you just sent a little message there to the Celtics? And I'd love to meet them in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'd love that. You got to get to the 2 seed, I think. Maybe that's still attainable now. But could you imagine what you just said to the Celtics when you see them potentially in a playoff series? Don't tell me I ain't going to forget that. They'll remember it. And they could come back and you could tell me that, they'd be angry or they'd come out with some vengeful thing. No, they're going to sit there and say, man, this team showed. Like, really, in one night, I think the Cavs completely flipped the biggest issue that people had with them. And what were they? They were getting called soft, and they were getting called they didn't have a killer mentality, that they didn't know how to finish games. They did that last night. If you really want to be pessimistic about it, you could say they had nothing to lose. They had nothing to lose then to go out there. But at least they did. For anybody that wanted to be critical about JB Bickerstaff, tell me that he didn't still have his guys playing last night. He didn't. He still had his guys out there that could have been said, this is mop-up duty or, get Garland out of the game. They fought tooth and nail to get to that and just get the game close. And then to close it out on that defensive play. The refs, man. Dude. And thank goodness that they made the right call after the review. But this is a legitimate question for not baseball so much, but like mostly football and basketball. Why do the refs feel the need to insert themselves in a game where it was obvious they were going to let these guys play? That had a playoff vibe for every nth degree last night. You were on national TV. You had two of the top teams in the East. They let them play up until the last play. And then, again, we won. It's great. But then to go to a jump ball with 0.7 seconds left, what is that?
I think I totally agree with what you're saying, but I think there's that pressure of, okay, what happens if he gets fouled? It was a foul, and then I didn't call it. And then you're at the Celtics, the 1 seed, and then you're in the spotlight again. Like, oh, why didn't you blow your whistle there? That's the biggest moment. So it's kind of a battle because it's tough for these refs. Either way, they're going to get criticized. But do
you want to know? Because it was Jason Tatum, too. Because it was Tatum.
We know superstars get the calls. That's how the NBA works. It's fine.
And real quick, I didn't mean to cut you off again, but the Celtics all night were complaining.
No, Jason Tatum is a crybaby. He's stiff-armed. The amount of times I saw the arm extension with the forearm instead is crazy.
Was it Niang again?
Yeah.
Where he literally threw him off. What is that?
It's every time. And yeah, like that. Like you said, though, it's one thing. If you're gonna let him play, then let him play the whole game. Don't just decide when you're gonna blow the whistle now. I get it.
I had a thought where it would probably get into a little bit of them thinking, how the hell did the Cavs get back into this? There is that bias. The refs know who these teams are. They know, and I really thought that there was a little bias against the Cavs because they shouldn't have been in the situation they were in. Again, I am so thankful that they got it right. Bro, he didn't even touch him. And I saw the tweets, people write, Tatum kicked his leg out.
Yeah.
You're going to call anything. That was my other thing. I go, okay, he didn't touch him. Or were they going to get him on a landing spot? No, Tatum was falling away, kicked his leg out. Dude, what a game. And I know you can't expect that out of Dean Wade forever. You can't. That is something like what you got with Strus last week. That's your one ticket that you cash in. But it was a damn good ticket to cash in, wasn't it?
And even beyond the threes he hit, the one layup Garland kind of boofed off the backboard and then he put up with the dunk. There was where did it come from?
I just think it's go shoot. We got nothing else to do, and especially for the fact of that's the one area the Cavs haven't been good at, or that's been a Jekyll and Hyde thing of them shooting threes. Last night was so weird too. How many 6 to 8 to 10 footers did the Cavs miss? And it was in and out. It was almost like the rims were cockeyed last night. We all go back to an era playing outside and the double rims and can't even touch the rim or it'll bounce way off, playing with an overinflated basketball. That was always the most important thing with your buddies. When everybody showed up, you knew who brought the good basketball.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that you called Wink because he had the good basketball. That was my group growing up. That was a sad thing. That you ever hear that thing where it's like you and your buddies went out and played for the last time and nobody ever knew it? I think about that all. We used to go to, we had this basketball court in Brunswick. It'd all show up, man. Even in college, it was so much fun. You knew the guys that had the good basketball. But lastly, there was something weird about so many shots that were in and out, literally rimmed around or halfway down and jumped out and all that. And I guess a positive out of that is if the Cavs had just hit some of those, maybe it'd have been a closer game. There were shots that I go, yeah, of course, runners in the lane for Garland, all that kind of stuff. But that was, I hope, a win, like we've said multiple times, to unlock who this team can really be. I know they're talented. I know they're injured right now, but I know they're talented. So when they have the talent, that they can go with the mentality that hopefully they were able to grab onto last night. Ryan, it all comes back to belief. It all comes back to belief. And when you build a team up in any sport, if you don't have people in that locker room that believe that they can win every single game, then you're not going anywhere. You are not going anywhere. And you could be stepping up against the other top team in the league or in the conference or your division or whatever it is. If you do not have a belief that you are going to win that game, you're not going to, and you're not going to the playoffs, you're not going to win a championship. What I hope the Cavs realize, down players, you beat the best team in basketball. A team that is not going to be record-breaking by any stretch of the imagination, but they're on their way to, 65, 66 wins? Maybe? Around that? A team that, what did they just do to the Warriors? I heard Brian Winters say, he goes, that what I watched them do to the Warriors is reminiscent of the 2016 Warriors. And that's what the Celtics were. They came into town. And I will tell you, I don't think they took us lightly last night. I don't for a second.
The first 3 quarters.
They did not take us lightly.
The first 3 quarters, they came in there, they wanted to win that game, clearly more than we did. And that was the issue. Then that fourth quarter, they're up 20 with 9 minutes left. They take their foot off the gas. And that's the first thing I thought to myself was the Celtics are kind of bowing out. They're taking threes. As much credit as I give to the Cavs as deserved, the Celtics completely sold that game.
Yeah.
Like in no way did they expect that to happen, and probably right to expect that. But in the NBA, especially nowadays, we've seen more comebacks than ever. And I don't know if I'm one, Matt, to really buy into, can a single game really change the destiny of a season? But if that is true, then that was the game that was going to do it for the Cavs.
And it's a good time. You needed it now. Mitchell, 3 games. We got an update from JB. Let's talk Evan Mobley. I thought he was just walking back and tripped, and then I saw it was as he was coming down from the dunk. That sucks. And, again, Mobley becomes this polarizing lightning rod, already missed all this time, now with the ankle. I am not going to make any declarations on what I feel about him or what he's going to look like. It's just, that's a blow. But again, this is the reality we live in. Jared Allen, go ahead. Then now it's your time to thrive again. Okay. I don't want to say this. I don't want to do it. I'm a little intrigued to see what it's like with Garland, Mitchell, and Jared Allen. I don't like it. I don't want it. But since that is what I've been given, might as well see what you got. Might as well see. And these are all things for Kobe Altman, and today is not the day to discuss this kind of stuff. But that's what you got laid out. And who knows? This could be something that he's back in a week. God, I hope so. But didn't look good. At least, I will say this, at least he got up.
Yeah, he got up.
At least he got up. And he went straight to the locker room. Ankles are a finicky thing. It sucks. I mean, it really does. And it goes back to the fact that they didn't give up when he went down. You could have just cashed that in. What do you want us to do? The update on Donovan Mitchell came from JB Bickerstaff before the game. So as we know, he got this PRP injection in his knee. And Bickerstaff before the game said, you're obviously concerned, but we're confident these next steps will be the steps that are necessary to get him healthy. It was one of those things where he was trying to play through it, but he was just hampered. And you could see he couldn't explode. He couldn't move in certain directions. And frankly, how limited he was. I'm not a doctor, but from everything I'm hearing, the time, the rest, and the process should get him back to full strength. Good. I'm for that. All for it. You're telling me he's got to miss 3 games? Maybe. I'm assuming more. That's fine. And he's back to 100%. Good. And I'm assuming get that PRP lined up there for a little bit of Evan Mobley. It's a new thing in the new wave. Peptides and, PRPs and all that other kind of stuff. Do you do physio tape? Do you ever do that suction cup stuff?
No, I've never done it.
Really? You go to a chiropractor?
Never.
You start doing that. I started going to the chiropractor. Life-changing. Absolutely. I'm also 35 and pretty much foot in the grave at this point. I get on my back. Dude, can I tell you quick? So our daughter, we're working through sleep with our daughter. Anybody with kids, you know what I'm talking about. And there are nights that I'll have to put her down, and I'll sit there with her to try to make sure she gets into that deep sleep. So you got to be really quiet. So I sit on this chair, and I slowly, okay, be quiet. And then I start to kind of move away. My back and my ankles creak when I stand up, and I'm like, oh, God. Little creaky floorboard in there, but it's my ankles and my back when I stand up, trying to keep the kid asleep. I'm falling apart, man.
Don't envy that.
Oh, don't. The problems you discussed yesterday, you can deal with those. That's all right, go back to that show. All right.
They're fixed.
Yeah, I'm glad they are. Go back to that show yesterday. I'm at Fontana Show. Drops a follow there. All right, better win. Last night against the Celtics. Last week against the Dallas Mavericks. Ryan Castrovote, which one was better for the Cavs?
I mean, it's the Celtics, and I don't think there's really any way around it. From one, the standpoint, the Celtics are the best team in the NBA.
Yeah.
2, you came back from a greater deficit. 3, you did it with less players. So, I mean, the last shot with Strus was probably the most exciting shot.
It was, yeah.
But
I mean, for like a moment.
But the win over the Celtics, I think, was a little bit, and I'm not saying that to take anything away from that Dallas game.
Sure.
You got a little bit lucky in that Dallas game. This Celtics game was pure scrap, pure mentality, pure toughness from the Cavaliers to not bow out of that game, because an 11-point comeback was more realistic, but this was something I've never seen before, really, for this Cavs team without the star of Donovan Mitchell. It's mind-blowing, and I think it does way more wonders for this team's confidence than probably that Mavericks game did.
I agree, and that's why I'm also going to go with last night. I'm assuming it'll probably be heavy that way. It wasn't a shot. It wasn't a 2-minute stretch. It was an 8-minute stretch where you believed and you got that win over the number 1 seeded Boston. Again, Celtics are much better than the Mavericks, too.
And I got to say, too, to that Celtics game, there was a point where, yeah, you ended up getting the lead, but then Kristaps hit that and one. They got the lead back. Darius turned the ball over. A couple really bad turnovers for Darius Garland. The missed free throw, bad turnovers, and then the foul on Tatum, too, at the end. I mean, so to come back from that, the momentum shifted a little bit back towards the Celtics, but then that didn't let you stop you. You got that momentum back again, and you closed out the game.
There's another point of that game last night about Donovan Mitchell not being there and playing. And, I'm not discrediting the win. It was great. It was awesome. But I also look at it and say, I'm stating the obvious, you need him back. Like, make no misnomers about what this team is or isn't. They are so much better with Donovan Mitchell. And it's not that they would have easily won that game had Mitchell played. It's not that they would have won by 15 if he had played. But it's clear there's this thing about the Cavs offense. And you mentioned earlier, Ryan, they just don't seem to get into their play or their set, or they seem just so disoriented sometimes. And there's possessions, the one where Darius Garland was like forced into the corner with like 4 seconds to go on the shot clock. And it was due to a sloppy operation. It was who's going here, guys, spacing was just so important. And then he's stuck in the corner and he just jacks up a throw. I don't think he even hit the rim. And that was a 24-second violation, if I'm not mistaken. And you're like, what? And it just flows so much better with Mitchell. So in a game where you slayed the giant, you slayed the dragon, but imagine if you were able to have Donovan Mitchell. And that's the other exciting thing, which I think gives this team another boost. We've been talking about this a lot with these injuries. You gave time to Dean Wade and Sam Merrill and some of these other guys to step up. Keep that. Keep that for when Donovan Mitchell comes back, or when really time comes that we're going to need you again. You keep that. You hold on to it. Dean Wade's going to ride this for a month. He should. It's exciting. He's Taylor Swift's favorite basketball player. What do you mean? I did send a tweet, and I got clarification that they asked Jason Kelce to be in the pierogi eating contest against Joey Chestnut, and he declined. Because I sat there, so last night the halftime was Joey Chestnut, who I have interviewed before, by the way. Interesting guy. And he was there to do a pierogi eating contest. And I tweeted it, and I was like, why is Jason Kelce not out there? I found out later that they did ask him, but he said no.
He's retired. He's beefing down now. He doesn't need to beef up
anymore.
anymore.
Chugged that beer quick?
Yeah, look at all the
Our guys from Garage Beer had a good point. That was a bad pour. I don't know who poured that beer for them. A lot of foam.
Moondog was wild. I was like, dude, you're going to spill it all over the court.
I know. We'd have that nightmare.
But Jason Kelce, he's going to be Joe Thomas. Watch. He's going to get ripped. He's going to be more ripped than Travis. I mean, Travis isn't even that, like...
He's not, like, that muscular.
But no, that's what happened.
I don't know, man. I think Jason Kelce likes his beer. I think he likes his beer.
Oh, of course.
Hanging out.
I'm sure Joe Thomas does,
Get those guys season tickets. Can we get those guys back for a couple of games?
Yeah.
The bobblehead. What did they do to Travis's hair?
I saw that.
It was bad. I know the joke was that he popularized the fade or nobody knew about it, which is crazy. Those were a hot item. I want to do something real quick. When's the last time you've gone on eBay? Is eBay still a thing?
Years.
It's been a while. All right, you know what I'm searching for?
Bobblehead?
I want to see if they're already up here. Holy God! $180.
Make your ticket back.
Somebody already has one posted for $300 plus $2 shipping.
Who the hell would buy that?
I mean, the only reason I brought it up, I knew a lot of people that were asking around. How about this one? Jason and Travis Kelce, brothers bobblehead from the Cavs game last night. $144. Ryan, it's got 20 bids on it already. And it goes until tomorrow, plus $10 of shipping there. Kelce brothers, 140. Oh, here's one, 56. Is that it? That's got to be it. Yeah, that's it. So why would you go bid on the $144 one? There's a $56 one right here. $104, 90, 45, 200. This one's in hand though, Ryan. Literally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's over 20 listings on eBay this morning of these Kelce bobbleheads.
I believe it.
Cheapest I see is 56. Most expensive is 300. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Costs $2 to make.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, and then if you're a season ticket holder, like I brought it up because I knew people that were asking others or outside the arena last night, asking people if they could buy them off them. Are you bobblehead? I'm not really.
No, I don't. I mean,
I got a couple in my basement.
Yeah,
that's about it. Hot ticket item though. But get the Kelce's to more games. Obviously, they're good luck charms for that. What did you think? The other thing I wanted to get to was, what do you think the national perspective of that game was? You were on national TV last night, and I think the majority of people will look at it as a Celtics collapse, right? The most people will look at it and say they scored, 17 points in the fourth quarter? You ain't going to win a lot of games like that, even if you're up by 20. So they look at it that way. Do you think this sent a message to the team? Do you think this sent a message to the rest of the league, I should say? I would love to buy into that you just gave just poked the bear, I guess you don't want to do. But, I think you sent something there to Boston.
The national perception in terms of the media is way different than what the players view, because the players know way more than the average fan and even the media members do about what it takes for a comeback like that. Sure, yeah, the Celtics did collapse. As I just said, I don't know what they were doing. They were up 20. They just started throwing threes up. It seemed like they were kind of bowing out. I thought they were ready to take out Tatum, ready to take out Porzingis and throw in the reserves. But, I mean, how can it not, right? And thank God, because that would have been back-to-back national television games within a week that you saw the Cavs completely lack an identity, completely lack a flow, no offense, right? And just completely basically give up. But no, they totally flipped the switch in that fourth quarter. And I think, including myself, many people were ready to go to bed at one point. I said, I'm going to go watch an episode of House. I'm going to go to bed. I don't even want to watch this fourth quarter. But now you completely switch it. And yeah, people have to view the Cavs as that because you did it without Donovan Mitchell. You did it without Evan Mobley when he went out. And you saw people like Dean Wade step up in a huge way. And it was nuts. And I have to imagine that people are now viewing this Cavs team as maybe, I don't know, obviously a championship contender is a tall stretch. But after that game, especially if you watch the Knicks game, I mean, you got to realize there's some fight and there's some dogs on this team.
I do. And I do look at it from, I'm excited. And it's not that you need to do that to put the rest of the league on notice. The Cavs, I want to believe. I want to believe in this team. When LeBron was here, I was spoiled. There was no question but to believe that you were going to go to the finals. No matter what stretch you went on or not in the regular season, you were going. Last year, dampened my belief. This year, belief was down, belief was up, the belief was back down. And that's all I want is to hold on to, I don't want to say unquestioned belief, because I don't know if we'll ever get back to that. But I want to go back to the finals. I want to go back to the Eastern Conference Finals at the minimum. Games like last night give me that little glimmer of hope. It's the inconsistency. I think that's what's killing a lot of us. And you see teams that, you see different Cavs teams that show up every other night. But to send that message to the teams, the rest of the league, and frankly the Celtics, to say, when we show up, when we're there and we're right, we're tough out.
That's the big part too, Matt, because there's a lot of teams that, sure, they can have a comeback like that, or they a team like, I don't want to throw any names on the bus, but like the Pistons, like the Spurs, like the Rockets, like, you know, the bottom of the barrel teams, the Wizards.
Right.
If they win a game like that, I mean, like we saw the Trailblazers beat the Bucks, right? Nobody thought that was going to happen, but they don't look at the Blazers still as like a team that can do that on a given night. But the Cavs is a different story. We know that they have the parts, they have the big names, they have the Donovan Mitchell. You need a superstar. So now that's not just an anomaly at this point. It's, yeah, if we show up, we can beat you on any given night. And then other teams have to take that mentality and that we have to show up every night. Because if we take our foot off the pedal now at any time, it's going to kick us in the ass and they're going to come back and bite us. And I think the Cavs are now one of those teams that you got to look at. Yeah, if they show up, they're clicking on all cylinders, they can compete with the best, and they clearly just beat the best.
That is it. That is it. And again, to show what they can do to themselves is massive. All right, follow us at Matt Fontana Show. Our bracket for the East Side Bar is up. We got a very important time hop that we'll get to today. I already sent the birthday out. I made Ryan look away from my Twitter so you wouldn't see it because it's a movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. We'll get to that coming up. A timeout, morning update, the Immaculate Grid, and we got to talk some Browns because there's more Joe Flacco out there. And you makes it sound like I'm being negative on it a little bit. We got to talk through some things here. And I'll tell you what, we got to have a tough conversation. And I got to make a declaration. I got to tell you something when it comes to Joe Flacco. You're not going to like it, but I got to tell you. We'll do that when we return. I got confirmation, Ryan, for a boost. We can add Sam Merrill. So you want to do Sam Merrill?
Yeah.
Let's do Sam Merrill. We're going to do our boost with Tipico. We missed it last night. Mobley got hurt under all that kind of stuff. But if you're new to the show, welcome. Number one, sign up with Tipico using that code Fontana100. You deposit and bet $25. You get $100 in bonus bets just for depositing and betting that $25. You can bet on whatever you want. You bet the longest long shot of ever. How many people lost money on the Celtics last night, by the way? That'd been nice. Tipico's the place to go, though, folks. Get signed up with Fontana100, and we do boost every day. And the thing is, we got this tweet a little while ago. Oh, parlays created by the sportsbook. They just want you to lose. Folks, Ryan and I create the parlays. You have us to blame for when they lose, but when they hit, like our Jackets parlay did 2 nights ago, we want you to win. Literally, we are creating this because I put my money on this. I'm creating a parlay that I want to win because I bet on it. And then our friends at Tipico, they give you the boost. Sometimes plus 300, sometimes plus 500. It's always a 3-leg. We'll put that up. We'll get it going with Tipico, but use that code Fontana100 when you sign up with Tipico. We're getting ready to go for the tournament. You got the imperfect parlay. If you don't know what that is, check out Tipico. You can do a 6-leg parlay. You only want 4 of those legs to hit. Any of those 4 of the 6, you can cash. You can win. I love the imperfect parlay at Tipico. Get signed up today with that code Fontana100. We got some Browns. I think we have to have a tough conversation about Joe Flacco. Got a really tough conversation. We'll discuss that next. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. All right, back here on the Fontana Show, big play. Drop us a follow at Matt Fontana Show. We're up on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, all across the land right there. Let's dive into some Browns. Great morning again with the Cavs. And we got some news yesterday. So I want to make sure I got this from the right spot because I think I saw it from Pro Football Talk. That's right, Florio. He's got a bit of a tear yesterday. Interesting stuff from Mike Florio. So we've been listening a lot about the Browns and Joe Flacco and where they stand. Mary Kay Cabot's been all over this. And this comes from now Florio. Flacco signed with the Browns. We know what he did. Okay, fine then. From Florio. Per a league source, a reunion with the Browns is Flacco's first choice. He loves playing there. The team, the city, the fans, everything. The two sides, as we knew, met regarding that possibility last week on the scouting combine. Dude, we're a week away from unrestricted free agency, which starts on March 13th. He can sign with any team at any point starting on that. We discussed the money. We've discussed what it would mean for Watson, all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's happening. I don't. And I've felt that. You're trying to recreate something that I think is unrecreatable. You captured lightning in a bottle with a 38-year-old quarterback. There will be emotions attached to that. We are emotionally attached to Joe Flacco because of what he did and the games that he won. Joe Flacco is emotionally tied to the city of Cleveland and the Browns because of what he did, and maybe even more for him, for his family, that his kids got to see him play that way. Give him the motivation or reinvigorated him to come back out and play another year. There are these emotional ties that I think is muddying this up. Because as much as I want to be emotional about Nick Chubb, this is still a bottom line business. And if I asked you, do you think he could do that again at 38? The answer is probably not. And even if he did, you've got bigger problems. This season, as we know, is all about one thing, Deshaun Watson. And it's about him playing well, sure, but it's also about getting an answer on him. And I crave that more than I actually, I want to win. That's number one. But we have got to get an answer on Deshaun Watson. So he will play come hell or high water. And that train could be on fire with the brakes screeching and the wheels falling off. He's going to keep playing. The only thing that will take him off the field again should be injury. You need to leave him out there to play this out, hopefully for all 17 games, so you can finally get an answer. I don't see a place for Joe Flacco then to play. If that's what he wanted to do, which was the report, maybe he's had a change of heart, and maybe he just wants to come back to Cleveland. Okay, fine. But you cannot let that impact your thoughts on Deshaun Watson playing or not. Deshaun Watson, if he's healthy, needs to play every snap of every single game because I need an answer on this. I need an answer on who he is or who he isn't. So, well, we know if he gets hurt, we got to have a capable backup. We're screwed anyway. You can't look at what we did last year and say that that is actually a trend. When your starting quarterback goes down, your team goes down. Doesn't mean that I'm not happy about what they did or the excitement that they did. Well, go find another guy off the street like you did with Flacco. Do it again with somebody else. And the other thing, let's say Flacco comes back and he actually has to play. And he's, shows that he can do it again. That's not your permanent solution. It's a stopgap. And it'll keep it afloat for now. I mean, it's almost like I want to say I'd rather Dorian Thompson-Robinson play because there's at least a chance of a future there. Joe Flacco only has a couple more years left to play. And if he is playing and does play well, then again, the giant bigger problem is it's not Deshaun Watson. You got to get out of that contract. You got to move on from him. And I'm still in the search for a future franchise quarterback. I'm sorry, it's not Joe Flacco. It's not. When I ball all of that up, it doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense. People got wrapped up in the backup quarterback because of what happened last year. How about we get wrapped up in the starting quarterback? How about we get wrapped up in answering the biggest question facing this franchise right now? And that's whether or not Deshaun Watson's going to be good. You could say, we'll put this safeguard in place by bringing back Joe Flacco. It gnaws at me, Ryan. I don't think that's going to happen again.
No,
what you had was you can't ever recreate. Like, I would try to make some relationship, tie here about the first person you ever were with, and you want to go back to that. And there's always it's over. It's over. It's done. It's time to move on. What happened with Flacco was great. We're moving on. If he was 28, I think we'd be having a different conversation today, would we not? That part of the Cleveland Browns' life is over. It's over. We thank him for it, but it is time to move on. That's not a shot at Joe Flacco. If he walked in here right now, I'd shake his hand and crack a garage beer with him. Sit down and say, this one's for you, man. You deserve this after everything. It's time to move on.
Problem is, Deshaun Watson already came into Cleveland as one of the most polarizing figures that I've seen in Cleveland sports in a long time. And he's done nothing since he signed here
to live up to
it. Sway fans away from having a different opinion on him, okay?
Right.
So your already bar is pretty low for that. Joe Flacco comes in and he revigorates this whole entire offense, basically. He seems to be the perfect quarterback for a Kevin Stefanski offense, and then you have him lead you to the playoffs, except the problem is, like you said, he's 39 now. Realistically, he's 1-2 years left, and we don't even know what he really wants to do, right? Because if he stays here, the whole reason he got back into the game is because he knew if he won the job in Cleveland after he came off that plane, that he was going to be the starter. So what happened was he came, he let his kids watch him play football, and I think even he blew his expectations out of the water. He was setting personal records with the team for a guy who was in the league for a decade with our AFC North rival. And then you come in, and now you have Deshaun Watson, who has given us 3 years of very subpar quarterback play, to say the best.
It comes back to what I kind of brought up yesterday. It's that the fans are in love with Joe Flacco. What they're really in love with is the idea of Joe Flacco. And the idea is a franchise quarterback. He showed you what it looks like to have a true bona fide franchise quarterback. The problem is he's not that. So that's what you fell in love with. That's what we want. You put anybody else in that. It could have been Jacoby Brissett. It could have been anybody else that did that. And people try to get into the X's and O's of what this offense is trying to be or what they're not trying to be and all that kind of stuff. I just want to win. I don't.
But then, what do you buy into? How much? But then now I'm thinking like, okay, how much is how much of unlocking like David Njoku, right? Who is having another like just subpar average David Njoku season. Joe Flacco comes in. He puts up the best stats for a tight end in the entire league down the stretch. So how much do you credit Joe Flacco? Like, can Deshaun Watson do that?
I hope so.
How much is is there a factor of Deshaun Watson is truly hindering this team?
I mean, you will only ever go as far as your quarterback takes you. And defense is important, and running backs are great, and wide receivers, but look at how the playoffs play out. You go as your quarterback goes. And your coaching, there could be stupid mistakes, Dan Campbell, that hurt things. But if you don't have the guy, the whole NFL is set up that way. You don't have a guy, there's no point. You might as well rebuild. And if you think you have the guy, you put everything around him, and when he proves he's not the guy, you jettison off, you find somebody else.
Well, how much do you think, the fans obviously fell in love with Joe Flacco, but you got to imagine David Njoku had to fall head over heels for Joe Flacco. Amari Cooper put up put up a personal record with Joe Flacco. And I get that it's not sustainable. It's probably not going to happen again.
Right.
But then how much do you think if you bring Joe Flacco back, we already know how the fans are going to feel, because the second Deshaun Watson trots out there, throws a pick, it's going to be chants, boos, and for Flacco. But how much do you look at the players saying, oh my gosh, imagine
say the same thing to the players that would the fans, Ryan. It's over.
I know it's over. I understand it's over.
That probably won't happen again.
I understand that, but I can't imagine that David Njoku and like Amari Cooper, who put up these gaudy numbers, career numbers, I might add, with Joe Flacco, saying, well, gosh damn it, why can't we just have that? And now we have to sit here for another year of maybe a failing quarterback that's not going to work out. They're probably thinking, well, hey, if this isn't going to work out, then screw it. Let me boost my stats up while I'm in the prime of my career. Not so much Amari Cooper, but a guy like David Njoku. I got to imagine that's so frustrating. But I'm saying all this to bring back, kind of agreeing with you, you can't bring him back.
You can't. Because I don't think you can.
Because you're never going to start him unless a Deshaun Watson injury happened again.
Right.
So you can't just sit there and have him in the shadows. You can't just sit there and have him in the shadows.
I just don't think he's going to do it.
No,
again.
I agree. I don't think he's going to do it either.
The Browns got to realize too, like that was a roll of the dice that just happened to come up your way. It's not. That is my biggest thing on Joe Flacco. I just don't believe that is sustainable for years. And maybe I'm putting too much on it. Maybe it just needs to be a win now and a stopgap. I don't want to turn into one of these teams like the Saints that just keep turning over quarterbacks and turning over guys and searching for the next one. That's not the way. The way is the top teams. You draft a guy and he's it. Now, if you want to look at Deshaun Watson and say you pseudo-drafted because he was younger and all that you gave up, that's fine. You are okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. This is going to be really hard, but we're going to try it. I want you to strip away the draft picks, Deshaun Watson's prior career, and the money. And I want you to envision that Deshaun Watson was your first-round drafted quarterback in the year of 2022. So 2022 was his rookie year, and 2023 was his second year. And we are to this point. Do not think about the money. Don't think about the draft picks. And don't think about what he did in Houston. I want you to just pretend like he was the 14th, whatever he was, the pick that we traded away. He was the 14th overall pick in the 2022 NFL draft. Ryan, what conversations would we be having today? We don't know if he's the guy.
Yeah, but he'd be a bust.
We don't know if he's the guy.
He'd be a bust.
Imagine if that suspension was, we just thought the idea to sit him was the right thing. And then we gave him 6 games at the end. He came in and he was injured. You would be having the conversation, we might need to move off of this guy.
Yeah, of course.
So, but what would the team do? Here's your last chance. Here is your last chance to prove to us. Now, he could go, I don't know why Tua came to mind, right? There was a time that people were ripping Tua and thought he sucked.
They still do.
I know. But went out, what, in his 3rd year, right? This was not his 3rd year the past year?
This will be his 5th year.
Okay, so, well, wasn't good, went out and did stuff and proved, and what's going to happen? He's going to get signed to a long-term deal, and you're right, there's always the naysayers there. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You got to have this, like, if you stripped away everything else and pretended like Deshaun Watson was just a first-round draft pick, it would all be on this season. But let me ask you this. Would Joe Flacco even be entertained? No. Because you would say, this guy's still our starter. He is supposed to be the future franchise guy. Go for it. He's going to play. Now, you want to know what else just like rocketed straight in my brain? Brock Purdy. What's the difference in that scenario? Trey Lance was supposed to be the guy. Sat a year, got hurt, they turned over to Brock Purdy. Why did they keep it with Brock Purdy? Because he's 24 years old. Because even just in the short stretch of what Flacco did, Brock Purdy did that over a season. And then came out this year and was in the MVP conversation. We're having a different conversation if Joe Flacco was 24 years old. Trust me, we would be.
Yeah, of course.
Of course we would. It's the age. And I'd love it if we can get in a time machine and go on back. Boy, would there be things I'd tell the Cleveland Browns. You know that guy from Texas A&M? Don't do it. Don't do it. I know you really want this cornerback. Where did Justin Gilbert? Oklahoma State?
Mm-hmm.
Take literally any of the next 10 guys. Because there's this guy from Pitt. He's a D tackle. Take him. He's pretty good. Oh, boy. That would be a great segment. If you could go back in time at any point and tell the Browns something, what would it be? Whew. Same thing for the Cavs. Same things for the Guardians. Cavs, I don't really have one. Like, I think they did everything right. Like, even LeBron leaving. Like, people say, oh, tell Dan Gilbert not to write the letter. It all worked out. Who cares? I guess I'd try to warn them about the Kyrie LeBron thing. Maybe. Guardians, I don't have anything. If I go back in time and tell the Guardians something, got nothing. But the Browns, now that's a list. That's a list.
It's a gaudy list.
And again, think about the butterfly effect. Would you go back and tell them not to hire Sashi? You might not have Myles Garrett. But if you could go back in time at any point and tell the Browns something, Like in Interstellar or in Batman vs. Superman, where the Flash comes back and he's screaming at Batman. If you could do that, you get a portal and it opens up at 76 Low Groza Boulevard, and you get 10 seconds at any point in time to yell something to the Cleveland Browns. What would you yell at? What would you tell them don't do?
I have to think about that. But Matt, let me ask you this. Okay, let's say we're 10 games into the season. Okay,
Sure.
Defense is amazing again. Jim Schwartz just brings everything back. Our defense is top of the league, right? Let's say we're 7-3.
Okay.
7-3.
Very good.
However, we're averaging like
going.
20 points a game. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that what Joe Flacco did last year was probably super improbable that that's ever going to happen again. Okay. But at that point, you still have a realistic chance. You're 7-3. Your path to the playoffs is pretty clear. At that point, you're in the driver's seat.
Right.
Even in the slim chance that Joe Flacco could get us there, you can't.
Nope. If you're 7-3, even with Watson not playing all that well, you still got to let it ride out.
But you're saying that because there's just absolutely no scenario, whatever.
There is.
But is that not your answer?
No, because then we're back to Baker Mayfield, right? And eventually, and that I say that, and I know the look that you, excuse me, gave.
But wouldn't you rather at least?
It was more complicated than you think, and I argued till I was blue in the face with people about that because I said they were going to start Baker Mayfield. They were going to tie their future to Baker Mayfield until Deshaun Watson came about. And with whatever happened on the back end, whether that was the call from the Haslams or not, they were going to go with Baker Mayfield. So in this scenario, it's the same thing. He's shown a little bit, but not proven it. And like, again, just without a shadow of a doubt. But then you factor in the contract and all that other stuff and what they learned from maybe that scenario. I need proof. The only way I get proof is he plays. I'm not sitting him. You could be 10-0 and he throws 5 interceptions a game. I don't care. You have got to play him. Now, the other side, you're 0-10 and he's throwing 5 interceptions a game. I think maybe you have your answer. Go ahead and sit him down. But at that point, your season's lost. But that would be, and play him out.
But no, flip that. If they're 10-0,
that's what I said. I said if he's 10-0 and throwing 5 picks,
that's your answer more than that's.
Yeah, keep him playing.
No,
you're 10-0. What do you mean?
Imagine then if you had a quarterback who wasn't throwing 5 picks a
You're
game.
still undefeated, Ryan. I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly. So then you have a legitimate chance to go to the Super Bowl.
I need proof.
That is your proof. That is your proof.
Not enough.
Then if
not enough,
then why
do you
season. But then if you're 0-10, why is that proof? If 10-0 is not proof, then why is 0-10 proof if he's still throwing 5 picks a game?
Well, it's the most important thing is winning.
Right. So
is he doing enough to win? Are they winning games? I get it. Right, because he's throwing 5 picks. He could be better off without it. I'm not sitting him for anything other than injury. I want Deshaun Watson out there for every single snap, whether it's good or bad.
Even if you're 10-0, our defense is somehow better than last year, and you have, let's just say Joe Flacco was here.
Sure.
You're not starting Joe Flacco at that point.
Let it ride out.
But you have a playoff, you have a Super Bowl team.
I mean, at that point,
it's kind of the same thing as last year. Obviously, Joe Flacco went out and kind of had a shit game.
And I guess if there will become a point that the Browns have their answer on Deshaun Watson. Maybe that's just the point. But then you know what they need to do the next day? He is inactive and he's basically no longer a member of this team. Like the other thing I want to avoid, and maybe that's another reason why Flacco doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't want this back and forth bull crap. I don't want that. We are forced into a box of riding out with Deshaun Watson. That's what's going to have to happen. So I know, listen, this is gonna sound really mean, and I truly do not mean this in any stretch of the imagination with what I'm about to say. Of course Joe Flacco wants to come back to Cleveland. He's tugging on our heartstrings too. Because maybe he realizes there might not be a job out there for him. If Brissett goes back to New England, Baker goes back to Tampa, Washington drafts, and I know the ideal position for Joe Flacco is to go somewhere where they draft a quarterback and he's the bridge guy. Maybe he's starting to get some scuttlebutt. There's not going to be that job. Ryan, let's connect the dots. When did he just say that? Right after the combine. In the NFL offseason, when does the most amount of information come out? After and during the combine. I'm not trying to be mean to Joe Flacco. It's what I see. He probably and his agent got some news last week in Indianapolis. There might not be very many jobs out there. So what is Joe Flacco going to let leak out the next week? Well, I'd really love to come back to Cleveland. And he knows that he's got the fan base, and he's just going to pull on that. Of course.
I'm agreeing with you. I don't think it's good to have him back. Not that I don't want to say not that it wouldn't be good, because I believe he is still a very valuable backup quarterback, as he proved last year.
Right.
But it's just the fact of, yes, I don't want to waste any time doing this rerun of who's our quarterback, who's not. It's tough because we want an answer, but we don't. Here's the thing, actually, Matt. We have an answer, and it's Deshaun Watson. We just don't like the answer.
Well, no, it's not that I don't like the answer. I just don't have it. I'm fine if Deshaun Watson is good. There are people that just don't like Deshaun Watson. You're entitled to your opinion. That's fine. And there are people that I know that are Browns fans that want to see the team suck while he's here. Okay? It is what it is.
Well, we have the answer. We just don't know if it's a good one or a bad one yet.
That's what I'm saying. All I want is the answer. Because if it's not, then I just want to start the process of moving the hell on.
Yeah.
That's the other. I truly am at that point. I just need the answer because I'm ready to either move the hell on or go all in on Deshaun Watson. I just don't have that.
Yeah. No,
and if he's not it, that's complete. You want to know what? And I've said this before. It's okay if he's not the answer. People want to bitch about the money and bitch about the draft pick. Sure. If he's not the answer, I'm actually okay with that. But I'm ready to move the hell on then. I'm ready to go.
It just sucks because we had this conversation last show. We talked about how trading for potential franchise quarterbacks has not worked out in the league for the last decade, outside of maybe the Matt Stafford one where they went and won the Super Bowl. So then you say, okay, we got to draft another guy. Okay, there's no way he's going to come in as a rookie like a CJ Stroud to do anything. So it's going to be another 2-3 years. And at that point, Myles Garrett, who knows where he is? Nick Chubb's gone, obviously. Amari Cooper's probably gone. It's a whole nother reset.
Yeah.
Because, the Chiefs are able to do that. They're able to reload their roster because they have their franchise quarterback who's still going to be their franchise quarterback for the next 10 years.
All right, let's catch our break. We got the morning update, the Immaculate Grid landing spots for Calvin Ridley. Yesterday was the franchise tag deadline, so a lot of things sneaking through on that. We know Barkley get to walk away. And what were the Jags? No, they did not tag Calvin Ridley. And he's out there. He's going to be available. Pittman got tagged. He's done. We know Mike Evans re-signed. I'd like to believe there's a Calvin Ridley world. But he's asking for wide receiver 1 type of money. I got from NFL.com this morning the 5 landing spots for Calvin Ridley. I'll tell you who those are. We'll see if that's an option. Immaculate Grid coming up. We're going to do our boost in this break. We got to do that. We got to send that over to the guys. So we'll get that up on Tipico. Get lined up with that Fontana code, or code Fontana 100. Our newest show, my newest follow, Big Play Cincy Show. That is our brand new show with the Bangalorean Drew Garrison. Folks, Big Play, we're branching out. So now obviously in Cleveland, I was doing the math yesterday, bro. We have like 11 shows just in Cleveland. Then we got the Columbus show. We got 2 Cincinnati shows now. We're all over the place for you with Big Play. Last night, we had Josh and Maria Cribbs. I saw Boobies World last night as well. And, of course, Enter the Jungle. Do we know when the Big Play Cincy show is going to go?
I think the first episode's tomorrow. So
okay,
I don't know if it's going to be
I've seen some clips.
Thursdays.
I think there's just like a little primer for what they're going to do. But our newest show is up at Big Play, our Big Play Sin show, Big Play CIN show, Bangalorean Drew Garrison. That is our brand new show talking Bengals. But of course, you're a Browns fan. Hanford Dixon, Josh and Maria Cribbs, Boobies World. Talks hoops or Browns from some time to time. I was going to say Blake and Greg Williams would be the show to do to talk a lot of Browns. And then tonight, Bruce Drennan with bonus time. So we got it all for you right here on Big Play. Let's catch our break. We'll get our boost up. Morning update comes your way next. So I tweeted out this morning. Welcome back. Matt Fontana show right here on Big Play. Follow me on Twitter at MattFontana3 because Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Draft Insider, he goes, not tagging Christian Wilkins caught me off guard. Could you imagine pairing him with either Max Crosby or Myles Garrett? And I tweeted, yes, I would like to imagine. Our boys on the Big Play Cincy show tweet back, Matt, we beg of you to not pair him with Myles Garrett. Please refrain from putting us through that hell. My response, you guys have Hendrickson and who's the guy from Ohio State? Sam Hubbard. You're doing fine. It's because the Bengals' offensive line has been perpetual crap. How do they don't get that fixed? I don't understand.
I mean, we talk about who's a. I know that team you hate most is the Ravens.
Yes.
For me, I cannot stand the Bengals.
Really? Because they're fans?
I hate them.
Send this clip down to the boys.
And I think a part of it is me living in Cincinnati for 4 years.
I will listen to that.
God.
Yeah, you're a little more closer to it than me.
I cannot.
Of the division, it's very clearly the Bengals are last for me.
God, I hate them.
There's a little kindred spirit there. And I have the most crossover between, I'll tell you this, I actually have more Steelers friends than I do Bengals friends, but I have both. I tell you this, Ryan, I do not have anybody that I associate with that is actually a Ravens fan. I don't know if I'd allow that. So there's a kindred spirit here a little bit, I think, with the Bengals. I caught some flack because when they were in the Super Bowl, I actually kind of wanted them to win.
Yeah,
and everybody's like, no, they're in our division. No, we don't want to see that.
I got to enjoy. I was working. So I was working for that Super Bowl at this pizza place in Cincinnati.
Oh, I'm sure that was a busy night.
It was, but it was joyous to watch all these fans in their tears. I hate them with a passion, man.
Coming on
I absolutely hate the Bengals.
All right, well, I have a new open now for the Big Play Cincy show. Just Ryan saying how much he hates
Especially
the Bengals.
because James Rapine and Andrew Fox Miller were laughing because Reflog and Nick put some money on the Browns to win the Super Bowl, as if the Bengals didn't go 1-5 last year in their division.
Well,
anyway,
they got Burrow hurt, is what it is. They got him hurt. Well, I don't want to say because of the offensive line.
So we had injuries too.
I know. Gotta get that offensive line fixed down there.
Anyway,
continue on. New show with us. Big Play Cincy show.
Anyway, the Cavaliers stormed back in historic fashion last night, Matt. The largest fourth quarter comeback in franchise history, led by the unexpected Dean Wade, scoring 20 points in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Celtics. Only dropped 16 in the fourth quarter, Matt. And that was one of the best games in recent memory.
Yep, career high for him, 23. What a spark. Wade sanity? Little Lynn sanity coming? Wait, should we come up with a name?
Doesn't he like
Wade Wilson?
Doesn't he have a wolf in his in his name or something?
I have no idea.
Like an emoji? Because I was just thinking Dean Wolf, like Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf?
Dean Wolf.
What's his middle name?
I don't know.
Jackson. The Jack. Kansas State Wildcat. Something like that. Wade. Pool. So I got nothing. We need to come up with something, I guess. Dude, his Wikipedia's already updated. That on March 5th, he scored a career-high 23 points, with 20 of them coming in the fourth quarter, in a 22-point comeback over the Celtics, the largest fourth-quarter comeback in Cavs franchise history. His Wikipedia is already updated.
Like, who does that? I know it's open to the public, so I'm just wondering, who.
So they have a bunch of moderators that check because, oh God, I don't want to. All right, a movie that we will get to in Time Hop. Do you know the movie already? Have you seen
it?
Okay, good. My buddy went to the Wikipedia of this movie to try to insert himself into it. It was up for about 2 minutes, and then they took it down. So I think once it gets edited, then somebody at Wikipedia is told, and then they come back and they change it, or if it's true or not. Because you'll get on there and it'll say citation needed, or when, or things like that. That's a dream job for me, to be honest with you. I love what I do. Like, if I could do this show in the morning and then get paid a lot of money in the afternoon just to be a Wikipedia moderator. I spend a lot of time on Wikipedia. So, I actually donate. You know how they donate? They ask for a donation every year.
Do you really?
Yeah, I give them $5. They go, I used it. No joke. I think I use Wikipedia every day.
You gotta be careful though on it, because you don't know what's real or not.
No, now it is accepted in colleges as reference, I believe. Is it not?
For me.
No, I know back in the day for you and I, it wasn't.
I mean,
now
I just graduated,
I think Wikipedia is a legitimate source. Googling. Is Wikipedia reliable? Is Wikipedia a reliable source? Okay. Because Wikipedia cannot be considered a reliable source, the use of Wikipedia is not accepted in many schools and universities in writing a formal paper, and some educational institutions have banned it as a primary source, while others have limited to only a pointer to other external legitimate source. I'm on Wikipedia all day, man. I am. It's just random stuff that you forget about a player. I should probably do more for the Immaculate Grid search, but nonetheless, I'm on it. It was great for Dean Wade last night. It was great for the Cavs. We wait news on Evan Mobley. He's very clearly not going to make this trip down to Atlanta tonight. I'm wondering if, and I haven't seen anything, any of those injuries, what happens to be is, the swelling's got to go down. They get some ice on it, and then see what it's like today. Then they'll get, the electric stim. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I just hope it's something that's not too serious. Real no updates that you need from Donovan Mitchell. What do you think of Mitchell joining the broadcast last night? I kind of got a little stick in the mud. I'm like, come on, man. But he's hurt. He's out. What are they going to do?
But I'm fine with it because if you watched him throughout that whole game, he was animated, man. He was animated. He wanted that game. He couldn't be out there.
He kept doing that to Porzingis, or I think Tatum.
It was Tatum because Tatum was bitching all night.
Yeah. No, again, for last night, you did on national TV, which is just like the cherry on this Sunday, which is great. I loved it. Well done for the Cavs.
Yeah, no kidding. An absolute crazy game there. Matt, if I say 50 days, do you know the significance of that number?
The NFL draft is in 50 days.
That is correct.
Yeah, I got to throw that one by me.
We will be in Detroit in 50 days for the 2024 NFL draft, and we all know the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Cleveland Browns don't have a first-round pick, Matt, but that's still a 54 pick. Interesting here.
No, and the other thing, your interest in the first round should be great. Who slips through? Every year, we snag Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. There's this receiver. There's this guy that I enjoy the draft because of the wealth of information from people that I respect, that I follow, that are into the draft. But it's still a live television, live drama. You don't want to be Brady Quinn sitting there. God, who was it more recently?
That fell?
Yeah, it was last year.
Will Levis.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Exactly. That's exactly who it was, because they invited him and he went, and then they just have to wait around. That sucks. I don't wish them on that, but it's still live drama. So what you want is some unknowns. You want a guy to fall. And the Browns are close enough in the second round that you're going to get a good pool of players to see. So I'm still very interested to see which guys ascend, which guys fall. Best news for the Cleveland Browns would be what is happening. You're going to get 5 quarterbacks in the first round. If Penix keeps going the way that he is, what I read this morning, again, rocketing back up draft boards, first-round pick, J.J. McCarthy up. What you want? Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, and J.J. McCarthy all to go to the first round. I'd hype up Bo Nix all day on this show if many went before 54, because then that's another player that falls back to the Cleveland Browns. What if they drafted Bo? Stop that!
The Browns? Ew.
Yeah, never mind. If Michael Penix was there at 54, do you take him or trade the pick?
No, you can't take it. You can't
What do you mean? What do you mean?
No. Nope.
I got something about Michael Penix, man. I don't know.
Nope.
I think I'd draft him.
Nope.
I think I would.
No, you wouldn't.
And that's a guy that I've been wanting a wide receiver, and I want Troy Franklin. I want somebody. You want Ladd McConkey. That's fine. I want a wide receiver. Michael Penix. And I don't think he will. There's no world that happens. But I'd think about it. I'd at least think about it. Draft's exciting. I love it. We're going to get geared up for it and get ready to go.
All right. Well, an article from ESPN. Their top 6 college football head coaches that have the most to prove in 2024.
Okay.
Matt, you obviously know one why I'm bringing it up, and that would be Ryan Day, of course. Do you dare guess the other one?
So 6 with the most to prove. Kalen DeBoer has got to be on that list. You
Correct.
take over Alabama.
Absolutely.
I kind of want to put Dan Lanning on that list.
He's not.
He's not. They're making the move to Oregon. That's fine. Lincoln Riley's got to be on that list.
Lincoln Riley is on that. So you have 3. You need 3 more.
Is there there's got to be another SEC one, right?
No.
No, really? Okay, because I was going to think like Billy Napier down there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Billy Napier is on
okay,
there. Very good.
Florida.
Very good.
It's Florida. You got to step it up there. James Franklin, Penn State.
One more.
Because they'll make. Let me put it this way: they damn well better make it with 12. Okay, they've always kind of been that you're good enough but not great enough to make it. If I had to place a bet, man, I don't know if James Franklin's coaching the Nittany Lions this time next year. I really don't. That's a legacy program. I know certainly what they went through and all that, but I don't think James Franklin is very good. Everybody's got, when you get that knock about you being not a big game coach, that you don't want that stink. You want to be able to recruit. If you're a bad recruiter, that's bad, but if you got that stink that you don't coach well in big games, you don't want that either. Sharon Moore?
No.
I guess he's kind of in a honeymoon period, sure. I don't know why I thought of Matt Rule. I don't think that's probably it, though.
ACC school.
Okay. Who's the Florida State coach?
It's not him.
Okay. I don't even know who the Florida State coach is. Is that bad of me that I don't know that?
I don't know who it is either, if I'm being honest.
Oh, Mike Norvell's there. That's right. All right, ACC. Oh, Dabo.
Nope.
What? Who else would it be in the ACC then? Because obviously they're a good team, or they're supposed to be a good team.
Sure, just can't seem to get over the hump.
Okay. It's not Florida State. It's not Clemson. I don't know.
Mac Brown, North Carolina.
I was going to say that. That was going to be my next one. Why? Dude, come on.
Can't get over the hump?
I guess. I would put more on Dan Lanning than I would that. Dan Lanning is the cat's rear end right now. And I know he had a great season, but I think he's got a lot more to prove there. Huh. Mac Brown. Interesting. Well, I felt pretty good about that list.
Yeah, you did a very good job.
There we
Well,
go.
Matt, last year, again, I mentioned yesterday, I love talking about golf because it gets your panties up in a bunch, Matt. Well, we're back to talking about the LIV. Why? Because former #1 world golfer Jon Rahm says that the official world golf ranking system is no longer fit for its purpose.
Of course.
Making its comments, as yesterday I mentioned, that LIV formally withdrew its application to have players receive world ranking points.
You are in the cult, so you got to listen to the cult's words.
I knew that was going to get you up.
You know, like, you're in it. I get it. Why would you speak ill of the place that just gave you hundreds of millions of dollars? This is the company line.
They're no longer fit, Matt.
And then, I don't know if you saw this too, Mike Weir. So you know about the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup? President's Cup is international. That is meant to be Cam Smith and Joaquin Neiman and... any players from Asia or Japan. Thank God. I hope they don't take Hideki Matsuyama. Please don't. I want him to stay on the PGA Tour. But there's some big name guys outside of Europe. And Mike Weir, who's the captain of the next President Cup, Canadian owned, Masters champion, he said LIV guys can shove off. What would they say in Canadian? Shove off, They're jumping a frozen pond, Whatever. He said he didn't want any LIV guys in the President's Cup. Good. Keep it that way. And I know that they're always going to keep bringing up the LIV versus PGA Tour, Ryder Cup, and all that kind of stuff. Of course the LIV wants to do that because they don't get to play in the Ryder Cup anymore. One of the biggest things that they said no to, they're trying to recreate. You don't get it. No. You went over there, you made your peace, you got your money, fine. I will tell you, I'm in a little bit of a better place with it than I had been. Go ahead. There's only a couple of guys that I truly didn't want to see go. Cam Smith, Jon Rahm, Dustin Johnson. Those were guys. Other than that, Phil can go. Patrick Reed's an a-hole, so he can go. I don't care. Everybody else is like, who cares? Joaquin Neiman's a good golfer, sure. I mean, I have never done this, but I'm going to do it right now. LIV Golf roster. Player roster.
Cameron Smith's on there.
I said Cam Smith's fine. Here we go. Richard Bland, don't care. Abraham Answer, don't care. Paul Casey, don't care. Bryson, really don't care. Sergio, don't care. Brendan Grace, don't go. I do like Tyrell Hatton. Good, fine, go. Get out. Dustin Johnson, I'm upset about. Nobody gives a damn about Anthony Kim anymore. He sucked. Great, good. Okay, Brooks. I'll give you Brooks. I wish Brooks was back over there. Joaquin, Kevin Na, nope. Louis Oosthuizen, don't care. Pat Perez, don't care. Thomas Peters, don't care. Rahm, I care about. Reed can go blank himself. Charles Schwartzel, nope. Cam Smith is there, that's fine. Bubba, don't care. Lee Westwood, don't care. What'd I say? 4? That's it. Brooks, Dustin Johnson, Cam Smith, and John Rahm. That's it. I don't care. Other than that, it is what it is. So go on there. All right, Ryan. You got it pulled up. Today might be the turn of the day for the Immaculate Grid. We got the Browns. So here we go. And thankfully, I actually am happy the Browns are at the top.
Yeah.
Because the last time they were on the side, so then we had the statistical one. And I'm glad we can. I got all those lined up. We're good to go.
Yeah, the 3 Browns.
For the Browns are going to be easy. So here's how it goes. I dare say, Ryan, we need to hit this today. And if we don't, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So let's start it out right now with the Immaculate Grid. Timer has started. We get 8 minutes to finish it on out. Everybody's got it side to side. Yeah, go, 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 go. Josh Gordon.
I'll do Shelby Harris.
That's fine too. Either one.
Carlos Hyde.
Carlos Hyde.
Mark Cooper.
Oh yeah, Mark Cooper. There you go. Perfect. That tells you about how much this can put me in a tizzy, man. It throws me off. All right, what's on the other side?
1,000 yards rushing in a season.
Okay. Marshawn Lynch. Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
I mean, can we go back to Fred? No, put Fred Taylor in there. Let's go throwback. Fred Taylor, baby. Come on now. I loved Fred Taylor. There you go.
Zeke.
Sure. I mean, go.
I mean, do a million. For the
Yeah, I know. Zeke's fine. Zeke's fine. All right, you Indianapolis Colts, sons of guns. We finished this on out. We got 9 or 8 minutes to finish this.
If we don't
If we don't, we're just going to quit. All right, so Indianapolis Colts. Is there a team you'd like to focus on first? Jags, Colts came to mind.
Sure. Am I tripping? It's Stephon Gilmore. Where's he at right now? Isn't he on the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Cowboys, Colts, Stephon Gilmore.
Did he play for the Colts?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, okay. All right, Stephon Gilmore then. Okay, good job on that. Colts, Seattle. Oh, man. No, I don't think he went to Seattle. Remember LaRon Landry, the safety? You ever see a picture of him? He looked like a bodybuilder and then shockingly got popped for steroids. I think he went to the Colts in Washington, but I don't think he ever actually played for Seattle. Quarterbacks. Don't forget Jacoby played there, but I don't think he played ever in Jacksonville or Seattle. Not Geno Smith. Oh, Colts, Jags. Gardner Minshew.
Very good.
Yeah, all right.
One more.
How
much time we got?
Oh, my God. We're only at 2.5 minutes here. We got plenty of time. There's that flow, Gardner. Yes. All right, let's just.
Yeah, we can breathe.
All right,
Namaste.
Ooh, Colts, Seahawks. Okay. I don't know. There's not a kicker that comes to mind. That right off the Pat McAfee, Adam Vinatieri, no. Quarterback, I think, would make a little sense at some point here, but there's not one that comes straight off the top of the head here. I feel very strongly there has to be a running back. But wait a minute. No, Edgerrin James went to Arizona. He didn't go. Dude, wait a minute. Did Edgerrin James go play for Seattle? I'm getting him confused with Marshawn Lynch is the problem here. But I don't know why. I feel very strong that Edgerrin James at some point made his way to Seattle. I know he went to Arizona.
Keep that name in the back of our mind.
All right, keep that in the back of your mind because if we don't get this, it's gonna be bad. Trying to think even current players, right? Like that's probably the angle that we have to go. We're overthinking this, as we always do.
Start naming off Colts running backs then, like you said.
Well, the problem is I'm so zoomed in on guys that are there. Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor. Joseph Adai. Joseph Adai, I don't think ever did. It's got to be a wide receiver.
Or a tight end, maybe?
Yeah, but I don't think Jack Doyle finished his career out. Oh my God, no! Dude, I'm so messed up because I think of guys and I don't know if like Dallas Clark. He went somewhere else, but I don't know where. I'm Googling that. If Dallas Clark is an answer, I'm going to accept it. Played for the Colts. Oh, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's what I was thinking of. So Dallas Clark does not count. Does not count.
We don't get this, Matt.
I know. Now we've kind of squeezed ourselves a little bit on this. There's not a layup quarterback. I think that's our biggest problem on this. Like Matt Flynn doesn't count for that. Does he? No, I don't think so. What about there's got to be a kicker. There's got to be like a Matt Prater, somebody of that era that had gone to both spots. There just has to be.
Start naming as many wide receivers that you can that played for
Doug Baldwin. No. I'm trying to go back to that Super Bowl team. Malcolm Butler, the Legion of Boom didn't go anywhere else really, like Cam Chancellor, Richard Sherman. I can't think of that other linebacker that they'd always go with Bobby Wagner. No, there's another one. There's another linebacker that was really good, but again, I don't think he ever went to Indianapolis. I can't remember who it was. I've got nothing on the D line.
Yeah, Brian Baldinger didn't go anywhere else. Did he play for the Colts?
I don't know. Shelby Harris played Denver, Seattle, now to Browns.
Oh my gosh. This is so...
Oh my God. This is the sign that we don't do this anymore. No. Oh my God. Oh. I would do a home run of Matt Flynn.
How much time do we have?
We're at maybe a home run of Edgerrin James. We're at 7 minutes on the dot right now, so we have 2 minutes to figure this out. I do not know why I feel like Edgerrin James.
I mean, we can try that if we
get down to it. Oh my God. Did Brandon Stokely play there?
No idea.
Oh my God. I know he left there. I know he went to Denver. For some reason, Brandon Stokely comes to mind too. Got a minute and a half here.
Gotta be a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. I can't think of Luck, Scott Tolzien. He played there, but then he went up to Green Bay.
Who was before Peyton?
Jim Harbaugh. I don't think Harbaugh ever played for Seattle.
Peyton Manning?
Jim Harbaugh, pretty much. Before Peyton. Peyton had a litany of backups.
Went right to Luck. Who started in that gap year between Luck and Peyton Manning?
Jacoby Brissett. Oh, the gap year to suck. I don't know who that was. I was talking about the gap year where Luck got hurt. That was Jacoby Brissett. I think the year they sucked, that might have been Scott Tolzien. I don't remember. Good Lord. I'm back to Edgerrin James, Brandon Stokely. I actually feel a little more confident about Brandon Stokely.
Should we try it?
No.
I mean, Marvin Harrison didn't play in Seattle.
All right, we got 30 seconds. I guess we got to go Brandon Stokely.
Ready?
Yeah.
3,
2, 1.
Yes!
Yes! Yes! Yes! Yes! Hell yeah! Yes!
Wow, boy, did we need
Take that immaculate grid!
Woo!
Yes!
All right, should we see who else played for the
Hell
Colts
yeah!
and Seahawks?
Woo!
Here's our other answers for Colts.
Oh my God!
You would have been right with Edgerrin James.
I knew it. I thought so. I knew it.
Other ones, Matt Hasselbeck, Dwight Freeney.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't know Dwight Freeney went there.
Whitehurst.
They are
excuse me.
freaking out over there. They're like, what is wrong with these people? The guy just walked out.
They don't understand. They don't understand.
And he looked over here. He goes, what is the matter with you guys? We got the Immaculate Grid today. Yeah.
Wow, boy, we needed that one.
Click on a couple other ones. Oh, sorry. Did you close it?
Yeah.
Oh. Well done, Ryan.
We needed that.
We needed it bad. So I would have been right on with Edgerrin James and Brandon Stokely.
Yep.
Well done. All right. That's how you get your blood pumping on a Wednesday. Let's go. All right, let's catch our break. We'll get to the time hop. There's a movie you are required to not miss. Okay. I don't know what to tell you. You better get it. We'll jump into that. Also, I have fun. I love doing time hop for a lot of reasons because we know who won Defensive Player of the Year last year, right? I've got the odds from 1 year ago today. So what money you could have made on Myles Garrett going into the season. I got a couple other things. Basketball, football. Oh. I've got the Colts and Peyton Manning in time hop today. That is weird. That is super weird. Glitch in the Matrix.
How it goes.
We get the boost. I think we're good to go. You want to tell everybody what it is when we return?
Yeah.
All right, let's catch our break. Tipico's up. Fontana 100. Use the code. Got the Immaculate Grade. Take that. Back after this. Oh, living off the immaculate grid hype, man. We got it. You also did the right thing by unfollowing the Cleveland Cincy show,
Yeah,
or
did
the
you see
Big
that
Play
gross
Cincy, because
thing
they
they-
already
ugh.
said they sent a tweet out there. Go, hey, we appreciate everybody's giving us a follow from Cleveland. Let us show you what fine dining looks like. And of course, it's Skyline Chili, which is just utter crap. They can go sponsor that show. We don't want it up here.
Poop on a
It
plate
is what it is. We got pierogies and Polish boys. Much better than that. Jumping to time up, we'll tell you what happened this day on the 6th of March. Here we go. Including this day 1 year ago, Defensive Player of the Year odds. So again, we know Myles Garrett won it. TJ Watt was the favorite at 5-1. Micah Parsons was second at 6-1. If you'd have placed a bet 1 year ago today, Ryan, you would have gotten 9-1 odds.
Nice.
For Myles Garrett to win Defensive Player of the Year. I think eventually when I did bet it was like 1-1. And then eventually became the favorite, even back and forth. But still, that's where you had it 1 year ago today. This day, 2023, also 1 year ago today, Derek Carr signed with the Saints. I mean, the ultimate good, but not great.
Yep.
You know, I know the Jets, remember they made that pitch to him, like, come here, you'll be a Hall of Famer. But it comes back to what I was saying about the Saints earlier, just that perpetual wheel of just not good enough. Go draft somebody. They have a talented-ass team down there. They got a really good defense. They got some playmakers on offense. Now what? It's all falling apart. Michael Thomas is done. They're talking about getting rid of Kamara. Could you imagine having Kamara up here? Just saying. But anyway, yeah, not good enough with Derek Carr. A sad one in the city of Cleveland because this day, 2021, it was announced that Michael Stanley had passed away the day prior. It's one of those ones I remember exactly where I was at. My wife and I had to drive to Pittsburgh to pick up something at IKEA, and I got in the car after we did our shopping, and I looked down, and Twitter was all Michael Stanley passed away, and I was like, dude. So for me, and I know a lot of people over at 92, like they knew Michael, like he was there, he was at 95. I just knew Michael as the afternoon drive guy on 98.5. And then you're like, oh my God, he had this band, the Resonators, and everybody. The story goes that Billy Joel, before he was Billy Joel, he signed on a tour and he was coming to Cleveland. And he was appalled and shocked. Because he wasn't Billy Joel yet, but he was pretty well known. He was on tour. And he signed up to come to Cleveland. I don't remember where he was playing, Agora or whatever. And he looked at the bill, and he was shocked to see that he wasn't the headlining act. And he's like, apparently freaked out. He's like, what's this bull crap? What do you mean I'm not the headliner? And they go, oh, you don't understand. He goes, I don't care. What do you mean I'm an opening act for somebody else? And they go, yeah, Michael Stanley's pretty big around these parts. Could you imagine?
Just a little bit.
Think about that.
Just a little bit.
Michael Stanley was so big that he had Billy Joel open for him at a time. And I just, like, again, growing up in Cleveland and listening to, classic rock and all that, there's something about that voice, man. Michael Stanley on 98.5, man. R.I.P. to him. He is the absolute best. This day, 2019, LeBron passed Michael Jordan for fourth all-time in scoring. Of course, would ascend up that list. This day, 2012, reports that the Colts and Peyton Manning would be parting ways. It's a bad pun, but talk about the luck that they just fell back into. But ended that career so early. Did you ever read that article a couple of years ago about Andrew Luck? Like, they talk to him now, like, what's he doing and stuff? He's like, dude, I just go fishing and...
He coaches, I think, like
yeah,
high school or something.
I think coach high school, spent time as a kid and goes fishing.
Can you believe Colts fans were booing him at one point?
I mean, it's when...
Because the dude wanted to live past 50.
But... yes, I'm not discrediting Andrew Luck because of all the injuries that he'd gone through, but bro, he was supposed to be it.
And he was.
Not like they made an AFC championship game. That was it.
He was amazing.
Right? I know he was, but they thought they were getting the next Peyton Manning. And they had reason to believe that.
I mean, who knows? He would have been.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they're upset, because he probably was going to be. And then
Cry
the
me a
injuries.
river.
I guess. I know. But yeah, you go from Manning to Luck and all that kind of stuff. But also, did they make that right move?
I think Anthony's going to be very good.
I do think Anthony Richardson's going to be pretty good. I do. But of all these top guys, just out of the last 3 years, like one of these guys is going to fail. I don't know who it is, but we'll see. I do have a fear that C.J. Stroud's going to be really good. I have a fear that Anthony Richardson's going to be pretty good. And of course, they're in the AFC. This day, 1981, Walter Cronkite signed off finally as the CBS evening news anchor after decades of holding that down. This day, 1964, Cassius Clay officially changed his name to Muhammad Ali.
Is it Cassius or Cassius?
Cassius? Is it? I say Cassie. I think it is but Cassius Clay. Is he the most famous athlete of all time? Muhammad Ali.
LeBron.
Of all time?
LeBron.
Of any sport ever?
LeBron.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I would. Yeah.
Because I think athletes would say Muhammad Ali.
I mean, maybe. Yeah. I don't know the exact number.
I think it's Muhammad. I'd have to. I think he like. I'm talking Muhammad Ali.
But it would be different.
Babe Ruth, Michael Jordan, LeBron.
I mean, it's inflated today because of social media, so it's hard to compare gaps.
Like of all time, it might be Muhammad Ali.
You could have the same conversation, Michael Jackson, Taylor Swift.
I would still say Michael Jackson.
I wasn't really alive in the heyday, but
that's true. There's a generational thing there, certainly. This day, 1924, they opened King Tut's coffin. So we did it a little while ago. They discovered it, but they actually opened it this day, 1924. The Brendan Fraser The Mummy is the best one of them all. The original one with Boris Karloff, not bad. Tom Cruise remake, ass. But the Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz Mummy still holds up to me. I still like that movie very much. On this day, 1834, Toronto was incorporated as a city. I've only been to Canada once. Had a fun time. I'll give you one guess where I went.
Niagara Falls.
You know I did. That's the American thing to do. It was fine. I enjoy it. I'd get to Toronto one day. Very happy birthday goes out to DJ Diesel. Shaq's birthday today.
He'll be at
He's doing something else too.
At the Garden.
Cavs. He's going
Progressive Field. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, that, and then he's all over the place now doing his DJ stuff. Former outfielder for the Guardians, Leonis Martin, former Ohio State tight end Nick Vanette, Marcus Smart, Andrew Billings, Michelangelo, not the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, the painter, Tyler the Creator, Harriet Tubman, David Gilmour of Pink Floyd. And this one goes out to Matt Lodi. And Matt passed away a few years ago, Cleveland sports reporter. I worked with Matt for years at the Ohio Media School. I miss Matt a lot. He was a really great person. Really enjoyed his job, really uncovered, and really unlocked, like he helped such a big generation of the next people of doing this job of Matt Lodi. So to him up in heaven, very happy birthday now. We miss you very much. All right, next up, movies and TV shows. Now, I will give you a hint. These are both on the same day, obviously, years apart. But Ryan, these movies are both in my top 15 movies of all time.
Okay.
Of my favorite movies of all time.
Wow.
So we start with the one I don't want you to miss. Came out this day, 1998. And if I just said The Dude.
That would be The Big Lebowski.
Thank you very much. Give me the ringer, chop, chop. So I used to always end my I do end my show now with Take It Easy. My prior stop, I would actually play the clip from The Big Lebowski where the stranger goes, "Take it easy, dude." And of course, he goes, "Of course, I know you will." And then he turns and he goes, "Well, the dude abides." God, I miss playing that. We can't play it here. We don't have the copyright stuff, but the dude abides. And then he turns back and he goes, "I take solace in that." Stranger Donnie. Do you want to know some fun factoids about that movie? Sure. Number one, you never see the dude bowl. He's there. You see Walter Bowl, you see Donnie Bowl, you see Jesus Bowl. God, what a great character. I didn't see the remake because they made one of Jesus roles, and I'm assuming it just sucked. I didn't watch it. But anyway, you never actually see the dude bowl. Then, for Donnie, he bowls a strike every time up until the last frame before they kill him, or before he dies. Spoiler alert on that. So those are little factoids. Also, every time the dude, you see him wearing a bowling shirt, it never actually has his own name on it. It's always somebody else. His name's Jeff Lebowski, and there's just other, names all through that and all that kind of stuff. So yes, The Big Lebowski, this day, 1998, watch it in honor. And then we go back to a movie, 1987, a buddy cop movie that spawned several sequels, including a recent television show. But came out in 1987. They just made a TV show. I don't think it went well, but I don't know. Didn't watch it.
Starsky and Hutch?
No, good guess, though. I don't want to lay it up for you here, but Riggs and Murtaugh.
Oh, that sounds so familiar.
Should. First, again, of the movie series, they all kind of hold up, but there's nothing like the first one. Gary Busey plays one of the bad guys. I almost qualified as a Christmas movie because it takes place during Christmas, a la Die Hard. This is another one, but it came out this day, 1987. Danny Glover and Mel Gibson.
Oh, Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon is correct. I love Lethal Weapon. Again, the sequels are fine. I didn't watch the TV show. I will sit down and watch Lethal Weapon anytime it's on. I love that movie.
I need to watch
great.
it.
It is a good flick. It is a great flick with Lethal Weapon this day, 19. What a day. Big Lebowski and Lethal Weapon. Too much for us on this. All right, tonight for the Cavs, I don't want to spoil it because we got to get our boost still up. They're working through it because we're going to shoehorn Sam Merrill into this, so they got to wait for some of those odds to come up. So we'll get to that. Ryan, you want to get to the bracket? I saw you checking the update there. Let's get to it.
Yeah, I got to update it, though.
You got to update it? All right, do that quick. Ryan's going to get our update on our bracket coming up in just a minute. Tonight for the Cavs, I'm not really too concerned about a letdown type of game either. Like, I look at it for what you did last night, incredible. But are we signing up for what we did in Dallas, where then you fall to Chicago? This stretch has been so brutal. The back-to-backs, the travel. You had that emotional game last night. But I feel like, I want to say pretty confident about them getting a win tonight. And that's crazy because Mobley will be out. It'll be crazy because Mitchell will be out. Are we getting Max Strus back tonight? I don't know. And he sat out last night. You would think if the knee wasn't that bad, then they'd sit him out on the front end of the back-to-back. Maybe he'll play tonight. I'm keeping my eye on Max Strus. We should have thrown a little George Niang in there. Little George Niang make a 3 tonight. I like that. But we're going to get our boost coming up with Tipico using that code Fontana100 when you get signed up. Deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want, and you get $100 in bonus bets. The Imperfect Parlay is running. We also have all of our props coming up for the NCAA tournament. We got it all. I guess the bracket? I got something else to talk about if you want to do that.
No,
all right, here we go. Bracket, East Side Bars. Here we go.
All right, well, it looks like Group 1 and Group 2 are finished, Matt. Rudy's Pub comes out of Group 1, and coming out of Group 2 is Spats.
All right, so there you go. Groups 3 and 4 go tonight. Please remind the people of what we got.
All righty, Group 3, led by Black Forest, Fairmount, Panini's, Academy Tab. Oh, I was supposed to change Panini's, wasn't I, to that one? I forget what it is, though.
Oh, man, hang on. I got to go back. Shoot.
Anyway, Group 4, Parnell's, 1899, Happy Moose. That was your submission, I believe, Matt.
Yes,
and
it was.
Frank Antoni's.
Yep. Hang on. I got to go back. Too many Cavs tweets from last night. Hang on. We did have to change out that one. You don't have to change it on the graphic. Just make sure you put it in. Yeah. So many tweets. So many replies. So many things. Oh my God, where is it? Just wanted to tell you after the show.
Yeah,
you're gonna post it after, right?
Yep.
Here it is. Skinnies we got. Oh my God, what was it? I hate this because now it's just literally gonna annoy me. All right, I'll find it after the show. We'll get to it. All right, NFL.com this morning, I was scrolling around, and they found the landing spots for one Calvin Ridley. So Calvin Ridley, it did not get tagged by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Actually, the CBS Sports, excuse me. So he's now available out there. What I wouldn't give to get Calvin Ridley on this team. And the problem is, the reports are already out that his list of suitors is long. That's going to drive prices up, and I don't know if the Browns are even going to have the money to entertain him. But here from CBS Sports, the teams for Calvin Ridley. Number 1, the Ravens. Keep him away from there. The Chiefs, which makes a lot of sense. Jets, Giants, and Saints are all the teams that are laid out. He is my new number 1. Now, Christian Wilkins, who we discussed earlier, well, Danny Jeremiah had the tweet where he said, could you imagine him next to Myles Garrett? The thing about the pass rush versus the wide receiver, which I think this offseason has been built a lot up about, we keep thinking other opposite and edge rusher. Why don't we get a defensive tackle to rush get after the passer to go along with Myles? We're so conditioned that we need that other defensive end. What if we just got a D tackle in here like Christian Wilkins?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends how much... It just depends. Is what, $20 million more worth replacing Shelby Harris? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's the thing the Browns are gonna have to consider.
Then I also kind of look at it of where is your bigger deficiency in the receiving core of that D line? Because I can make the case the bigger deficiency is on that D tackle front. I've got some guys in that receiver room that I think can play. I don't know that about the D tackle room, especially without Mo Hurst, especially without Shelby Harris. I have no idea. Is Ika finally going to step on? I don't know. I think your bigger deficiency is on the defensive tackle room. So you might have to look at it and say, that is where you got to make your money. Dude, all right. I saw that this morning too. Of all of these accounts of NFL notifications, NFL Noti on Twitter, the rumor is Andrew Berry is prepared to make a big splash this offseason. With the salary cap rising and money, the money's not available yet. And if they restructure, sure, I don't know. I'm going in low bar. And if I do that, then I can only be surprised, right? There's only one way to go, and that's up. And I would love for them to go more than not. Because I got to tell you, Ron, I don't see it right now. I don't see too many guys that are available for the Cleveland Browns at the money that they have. And I know, again, they're going to restructure in that. That's not true. Oh, sorry. I thought it said Dean Wade. Evan Mobley left the arena on crutches last night. I thought it said Dean Wade for a second. I don't know why. That was crazy. But, again, we'll see how it goes with the Browns this offseason. We got a lot to go. All right, Cavs tonight. Let's give the primer. We're going to take the Cavs money line tonight in our boost. I do feel pretty confident they're going to get a win. They're a dog. I know it's the Hawks. I know they have DeJounte Murray. I feel pretty good. Do you want to get into some trends for tonight just to make sure that I'm not completely off base with this?
Let's do it.
All right, hang on. They're pulling up. So for tonight, I've got it down to 2.5, over-under, set around 215. So that's low because last night's was about 215 in the under hit. All right, Cavs are only 2-8 against the spread their last 10 games, 14-5 straight up in their last 19. But against the Hawks, they are 5-1 against the spread their last 6 games against Atlanta, and they are 4-2 straight up in their last 6 against the Hawks. But in their last 6 games on the road in Atlanta, the Cavs are only 1-5. The under has hit 5 out of the Cavs' last 7 games and 9 out of their last 10 on the road. In the matchup between the Hawks and the Cavs, the under has hit 5 out of their last 7. Atlanta is 7-3 straight up in their last 10 games at home. And I mentioned they've kind of owned the Cavs at home down there. Tonight, we know Mitchell out. We'll see on Max Strus, and we're assuming no Evan Mobley. For the Hawks, they're fine other than Trae Young, who's now indefinitely after. Did he have surgery on that finger?
I don't know.
I think he did. Hawks beat the Knicks 116-100 last night, so both teams are coming off a back-to-back. They beat the Knicks last night. Before that, they dropped back-to-back games to Brooklyn. I don't know, man. The Hawks have lost 5 out of their last 8 games.
They're not a good team.
I don't think so either. But they just beat the Knicks.
Well, Knicks struggled, but of course they beat us.
I'm looking at their recent scoring. They don't put up a lot, man. So they put 116 up last night. 2 games ago, 102, 97, 124, 109. What do you like? Well, we took money line. We'll take the Cavs money line tonight. And then I think we took over Jared Allen 10.5 rebounds. Or just to get 9.5. I think it's 10 or more.
10 or more.
10 or more on that. So Jared Allen's going to have to step up without Evan Mobley being out. I'm waiting to see if we'll get some Mobley news today. I doubt we will. But just to see how he woke up this morning, to see how he feels. I don't know. It'd be nice to get some sort of just positivity on that. But we'll have to see. All right, our bracket is going to go up at Matt Fontana Show. Follow us there. Drop us a follow. Vote on that. I got to find that other.
We'll find it.
Because did somebody reply or did they? I went through my inbox, like my notifications, because somebody sent it during the show, right? So yesterday we did our Typico stuff, so it had to have been before that. Skinnies we added. Parnell's, Rudy's, DePompe's. Best East Side bar. Hang on. We got to find this. Was it Scorchers? Was that it?
That sounds right.
Scorchers? Do that. Bedford Heights. I think it was Scorchers.
I think you're right.
Scorchers in Bedford Heights. Put that in over Paninis. I think it was Scorchers. I think that's exactly what it was. Just throw it on there. Up at Matt Fontana Show. All right, coming up tonight, we got Drennan with bonus time. Don't miss that across all of our platforms. Then again, last night, trifecta. Little Josh Maria Cribbs, Enter the Jungle, and Boobies World last night. Don't forget about our new show down in Cincinnati, too, for all the Bengals fans out there as well. Big Play Sin Show. Big Play Cincinnati show is down there with the Bengalorian and Drew Garrison. We welcome them to the Big Play family, and we got you all covered. All right, we got plenty coming up this week as well. Get it done tonight. Cavs, got some more Browns. We are inching closer to free agency, too, which is going to be a lot of fun. So keep locked and loaded for that. Ryan, I did think a little bit about the Cavs. And, so now, with the situation that they're in, and they're fighting for the 2 seed, did last night reinvigorate that it's 2 seed or bust for the Cavs? No. Because games like tonight, where I feel like the Cavs are going to win, but if you really feel like you should be in the 2 seed, tonight is a must-win game. Tonight is a required win for the Cavs if they want to stay in that 2 seed. And I'm not trying to get hooked up on just one game, but Ryan, I'm still feeling. I really do feel like we're back in the back in the hunt for that 2 seed. So if you're there, you got to win. You got to win. Like, we should be able to beat the Hawks. Even though we're down, man, and we're missing some of our best players, I think a big turn for me will be Max Strus. Because if he plays, it might swing by a point. I don't know. Do you think Max Strus swings it? A point?
Maybe half.
Maybe half? So you might want to get in while you can. I tweeted out the picture of the Jason and Travis Kelce for $300 earlier. Somebody brought up a good point. They put Taylor Swift in the bio.
Yeah.
That's how you sucker people in. Because people are on eBay searching for Taylor Swift stuff. They're going to see a $300 Travis and Jason Kelce bobblehead. Can I update it? Remember the one I had earlier for $144?
Mm-hmm.
Still sitting there with bids. That guy relisted it, by the way. And it's a sponsored one for $300. $76, $91, $100. 15 bids. Oh, this guy's got a lot. Wait a minute. This guy, I don't want to, it could be a woman too, I don't know. This username on eBay has 5 different bobbleheads up there at various price points for your Travis and Jason Kelce bobblehead. Available inventory. Wait a minute. Over 330? You gotta be. There's one listed for $1,000, Ryan. You know what that is? They hope that somebody clicks on it and then accidentally clicks buy this.
That'd be so messed up.
$1,000. It has no bids on it. But $1,000 and then $10 for shipping. For $1,000 for a bobblehead. Good Lord. That's crazy. Well, I guess if you're looking for it, it is available. All right, great stuff today. We appreciate everybody joining us. Drennan tonight on the Big Play channel. Check it out there. We'll be back for a Thursday edition right here, 9 to 11 with Matt Fontana Show. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.